everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's go ahead and take a look at today's lesson objective. So today we will make equivalent fractions using pictorial models. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at today's problem. So we have a scenario over here. The scenario 1, the east field. So your uncle wants to plant corn on 2/3 of the east field. Your uncle also wants to plant wheat on 1/4 of the east field. He would like to plant beans in the remaining space. So we have two questions. One is, how much land will corn and wheat be planted? On how much land will corn and wheat be planted? And the last question is, how much land is left to plant beans? All right, now we're going to solve this by actually using Google Charts or Google Slides. And I'm going to show you all how we can use our table in Google Slides to help us make some fraction tiles. So let's go through each one individually. So first things first, we know that your uncle wants to plant corn. Wants to plant corn on 2/3 of the field. So we're going to go ahead and make the field, and we're going to go ahead and split it up into thirds. So I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Table, and I want to make this field into thirds. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my table and go to 1, 2, 3 because I want to have one fraction style. I want to have one fraction strip, right? And I'm going to go ahead and make it kind of small. I'm going to adjust the size of it and put it right over here. Okay. Now I'm going to make this a little bit darker. So I'm going to switch that to black. I'm going to make it 3 points, right? So here is our field. Now I know that my uncle wants to plant corn on 2/3 of the east field. So I'm going to fill in 2/3. So I'm going to do that by selecting one area on my table, and I'm going to fill it in with any color. So let me fill it in with green, and then I have to do another one. So now we have 2/3 on my model. Now I'm going to go ahead and go over to my wheat. So I know that he also wants to plant wheat on 1/4 of the east field. So now I'm going to go ahead and draw another model, or make another model. I'm going to go to Insert, go to Table, and I'm going to actually go down, and I'm going to make a table with 4 areas. And I want to make sure that this hole is the same size, because that's the important thing about fractions, is they all have to be equal and the hole has to be the same. So I want to make sure this is the same size. And I'm going to just put it on top just to make sure I have the same size hole. There we go. And now I'm going to pull it back over here. Let me make these lines a little bit darker. Okay, so there we go. So now we have our second table. So now I need to go ahead, and he wants to plant wheat on 1/4 of the east field. So I'm going to fill in 1/4. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to fill in 1/4. I'm going to fill it in blue. Okay, now how would he would also like to plant beans on the remaining space. So we'll get back to that in a second. But our first question is asking us on how much land will corn and wheat be planted. So we know that 2/3 of the land is corn, and we know that 1/4 of the land is wheat. So we need to combine this to see how much we have. But the thing is, we can't do that because we don't have the same denominators. So we actually need to find a way to create a common denominator for both. So what I'm going to do to help me kind of visualize this is I'm going to take one of these fraction tile, or one of these tiles that we just created, these fraction tiles, and I'm going to put it right on top. Make sure it's perfectly on top. And now we can actually see how it's split. So now we can get equivalent fractions. So now the one thing is we need to go make sure we extend our lines, because the thing about fractions is everything needs to be the same, right? So Now, we had 1/4, which is right here in our blue. Now, that we split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now our whole is cut into 12ths. Now, our 1/4 was shaded in blue. So how many 12ths are now in blue? We have 1, 2, 3. So 1/4 is equal to 3/12. All right. Let me go ahead and erase this really quick. Now, let's go ahead and see what about our thirds, right? So we have 2/3, but that one is on the bottom. That's kind of just how it works here with our fraction tile. So I'm actually going to click on this right here, and I'm going to go to arrange, and I'm going to put order, and I'm going to send it to the back. Okay, so now we see the green is on top. Now we split up one of our thirds. We weren't able to split up all of our thirds, so we're going to go ahead and manually do that. I'm going to split this. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12ths again, right? Now how many 12ths are highlighted in green? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 pieces. So 2/3 is equal to 12/8. Now I have the same denominator now. So now I can figure out how much land will corn and wheat be planted. So we can do one of two things. I can go ahead and add 8/12 plus 3/12, right? And then I can combine my numerators to see how much I have. So I have 12ths. And I have 8 plus 3, which is 11. So that's going to be it. But if I'm somebody that needs to visually see this, so I know that 3/12 needed to be shaded to represent my 1/4 of wheat. So those got taken over by the corn. So I can just go ahead and move my other 2/12 to make sure that I have 3/12 shaded. So I have 1, 2. So now I have 3/12 to represent my 1/4 and my 8/12 to represent my 2/3. So now I can go ahead and combine as usual, or I can count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 11. Oh, I'm sorry. I have 11 shaded pieces out of 12 parts. So over here, how much land will corn and wheat be planted? We have 11/12. Now, how much land is left to plant beans? So we only have this one space left over. So that's all that's left for beans. So we have 1/12 left over for beans. Now, if I were to do this with a number sentence, I know that I had 12 out of 12 free portions on the field, but I used up 11 of them on corn and wheat. So that's going to give me 1/12 left over. All right, let's review today's lesson objective. Okay, so today's objective was, today we made equivalent fractions using pictorial models. Okay, everyone, thank y'all so much for joining me today. I hope this was a little bit of a clearer lesson for y'all on how to make equivalent fractions with models. And this was so much fun going over this with you. I hope this was a helpful lesson, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.